Salutations, fellow nerds. I'm Rick Y, the wise guy. Today is December 20th, 2024. Drama has only continued to escalate among the liberal media as Morning Joe and his team are struggling to maintain relevancy. On top of that, Cenk Uygur and his co-host of the Young Turks have made an objectively cringy pivot in the direction of conservative media for no apparent reasons beyond their own personal cynicism, fear, and money. So if you're into news, history, or just basic Americana, hit that like and subscribe button. I'd be much obliged. Recently, after the election of Donald Trump, the liberal media has been consuming each other. Finger pointing and blame is going around. This trend appears to be continuing as MSNBC's ratings have dropped staggeringly. Morning Joe just recently capped around 38,000 viewers on a 2-hour program not too long ago. For context, the first video that I did covering Morning Joe got around twice as many views in a fraction of the time. What does this demonstrate to me in particular is that not only is there a massive appetite to resist the incoming administration, but that so many people took to heart the words that Morning Joe and Mika clung to for so long as they tried to portray Trump and his staff as a bunch of fascists who are going to destroy the American dream. And in one fell swoop, they single-handedly bent their knee, and now they're seeing the consequences of their capitulation. To be completely honest, I have not been able to find the energy to even give them the time of day, as I no longer see them as information brokers as much as I see them as members of a book club of newly retired boomers that are programmed to wake up at the ass crack of dawn and who have more interest in their bank accounts and retirement plans than they do in the future of this country and their children. I'm just curious when the episode about how everyone becomes more conservative when they get older is going to air. On top of that, there was recently a very lively panel on Piers Morgan, where Cenk Uygur all but completely melted down. If you want to see a masterclass of projection, then I definitely suggest, which is not a normal occurrence of me, that you go and watch this interview. If we approach this without any knowledge of their relationship, what he did was seemingly single out another member of the panel that he had been on, whose name is Dave Rubin. This gentleman started his career as a progressive on the Young Turks network, and then out of nowhere, for money and clout, the man completely did a 180, and then he went full-on MAGA. In that vein, he was able to actually find a lot of success objectively, but in so doing, he lost more. The integrity that he had actually built with an organic fan base had completely disappeared. The second bag of cash was waved in front of his face. He was willing to walk away from everything. The problematic issue with this in general is that if you're not aware, Cenk Uygur has also been moving toward the right in a gross attempt to pander to people he's demonized over the past 2 decades. What sparked his explosive reaction on the Home Alone Pigeon Lady circle jerk session is when Piers Morgan poked some fun at him, claiming that if he carries on this way, he would become a full-fledged member of MAGA. And in what I can honestly call a rather sophomoric tirade, Cenk proceeded to say, "I'm not like Dave Rubin, a giant sellout fraud who changed all his positions and is totally useless, and he shouldn't even be on here. He's a total waste of space." Mind you, this is a panel that Cenk was merely a guest of, which kind of encapsulates his perceived ownership of this weird liberal media space and highlights a massive issue that the fans built over the years have openly actually voiced towards him and TYT. He's been fully incapable of taking on any insightful or constructive criticism. This is also after Dave Rubin, in his defense, had yet said a single word on the panel. So while everyone went into the interview fully understanding how palpable the bad blood was between these two, few expected either of them to overreact as unprofessionally as the TYT host did when he came out swinging. More importantly, though, I wanted to touch base on the content of what it was he was actually trying to declare, because if the points that he made are true, then I'm really not sure how I can call myself a progressive. Cenk went on this gish gallop where he started declaring things were progressive. He said, when you were with us, you're a progressive. Now you're for Trump 100%. You aren't saying anything nuanced like we are. When this guy gets shot at and he puts his fist in the air, that's courageous. When he's at the McDonald's and does the photo op and it works, fine, no problem. If he wants to cut the Pentagon, great. Those are progressive positions. I'm going to have to disagree here, Cenk. You see, if John McCain isn't a hero for getting captured, then it isn't courageous for Trump to get shot at. Nor is it progressive. And like the McDonald's photo op, it was brand marketing. It had nothing to do with progressive messaging. It wasn't courageous. Both of which were just examples of precisely why he has been admonished by progressives. He's selling himself as some kind of working man victim, and it's all bullshit. But here's Cenk Uygur calling it nuanced to swoon over clearly pandering photo ops. The issue I have with Cenk is that he knows better. And then he's weaseling himself into an atmosphere he thinks will resonate with him by turning the page on how he chooses to approach a person he once said was a direct threat to democracy. He then went on to say that Trump is anti-war and anti-corruption. I can't imagine that the hosts of TYT are that naive, and it's why I've lost both faith and respect for both of those people. They need desperately for you to imagine them as some kind of enlightened centrists that they never were, that they've matured, when in reality they've chosen clout and greed over their morals, just as Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski did. This is clearly a strategy that's not going to work out in the long term. And what I've begun to realize is how these positions that I know that people on both sides can agree upon aren't being properly communicated to those who need to hear it. If the Young Turks truly find themselves to be progressive and wish to channel their message to people who actually need to hear it, they're not going to do it by bitching like petulant teenagers. Cenk put his viewers in a really bad position when they had to disagree with him and stick beside the calm and collected Dave Rubin. When you've made MAGA cult members look like the reasonable ones in the conversation, you've lost the plot. We need to understand that there's no incentive for anyone to try and come to our table if instead of speaking with them, we insist on speaking at them. Like, what are we doing, guys? We're at the point where some of us truly need to consider what is more important to us. The entertainment of blowhards yelling at each other or actually fixing problems that we agree we need to fix. Because frankly, no matter which side's doing the talking, I'm tired of the talking. When are any of us actually going to see any real change that makes us a better place? I believe we're truly on the cusp of a revolution in a lot of ways, but I think it will be that of classes, not politics. The only way to get traction is by coming together and staying consistent to our values. Hopefully, if we can have it our way and we stay true to the course, it will be a revolution against the oligarchic system of oppression that we've continued to let take advantage of us a little more and more each year, against the informed, the engaged, and the decent. So until next time, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. And y'all come back now. You hear?